What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Talk Bulls, your number one Bulls podcast in Chicago. On today's episode, we are going to cover the Chicago Bulls losing 118 to 109 to the Brooklyn Nets. And honestly, this game started out well and ended terribly. We're also going to cover the Bulls losing focus, Vooch looking terrible on the offensive end, and my thoughts on if maybe the Bulls just don't care about losing games anymore. We'll talk about all that right after this.
Welcome to the Let's Talk Bulls podcast.
So once again, the Chicago Bulls let us down, but they definitely did it in a new way this game. They came out in this game against the Brooklyn Nets after last game saying they have to do something better to start games, and they did that. They came out with a great alley-oop to Zach LaVine right out the gate, right off of tip-off, and from there on out, they were looking amazing. They were spacing the floor, driving, kicking, passing it into Vooch to cause a double team, passing it back out for the open three. And Coby and Patrick Williams this game really shined in that first quarter. They were connecting from three. The team looked like they were searching for them. And it just looked like the team really wanted to use them as the key players this game. But if you're like me and you are a Bulls fan, you know that once you start to get a little bit of hope in this team, they have to crush it. So, despite us scoring 30-plus points in the first quarter, the second quarter, we only had 4 field goals. Yep. Started out great, 4 field goals in the second quarter. We allowed Brooklyn to come back. This was their second game in back-to-back nights, but once they started to catch that roll, catching back up to the Bulls, they took over from there. The Bulls completely dismantled. They gave up. They lost all heart. And we've seen that going through the beginning of this season. The issue with the Bulls is that they don't know how to play basketball once they get punched in the mouth. Whether they're up, whether they're down early, the moment a team looks like they're on a roll, the Chicago Bulls look like they just forget what basketball is, they forget what team play is, and it all just goes to shit. So one of the main components of that is Vooch. Vooch was terrible in this game. He scored 6 points. Our center scored 6 points against a Brooklyn Nets team that did not have Ben Simmons on the floor at all. They did not have Claxton on the floor at all. Their big defenders of Vooch were gone this game. They played small, and we just could not get Vooch the ball after that first quarter. Honestly, he kind of gave up in trying to get the ball. He sat on the three-point line. He didn't really play well when it came to getting into the post. He dropped a lot of passes that maybe were a little bit too low, but it just seems like Vooch did not care this game to try to push his offensive force. I really believe Vooch should have had about 30 points this game. The team we played, the size that they have, Vooch should have been the key star player of this game, but instead, he just ended up being some random person standing on the floor looking at the rest of the team play basketball. If you don't believe me that this was just a terrible, terrible game from him, you can look to Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams this game had 20 points. 20 points from Patrick Williams, formerly known as Passive P. You can see lately he's starting to get more confident. I'm going to drop another video today about that as well, so make sure you tune into that later. We're going to talk about Patrick and why I think that he might be ready to take over the small forward position once DeMar DeRozan most likely leaves at the end of this season. But back to what I was saying, Vooch played absolutely shit, and the Bulls did not even look for him once they went down. That is one of the main factors of this team. Once they do go down, they stop playing team basketball. We opened this game up playing amazing, passing, looking for the open man. Zach wasn't really looking for a shot. DeMar wasn't really looking for a shot. They were trying to get the young players involved. Once we went down, it became isolation city. The Bulls just stopped trying to pass at all. It was just, hey, y'all clear out. We went from spacing the floor, people on the corners, people on the wings, to 3 people on one side of the court watching DeMar dribble. The people crowded up in the corner watching Zach try to make something happen with little time on the shot clock. And that is what happens to this team whenever we go down by any type of points. If a team gets momentum, we just crumble. And honestly, Billy Donovan at this point, I can't even blame Billy Donovan 100%. Sometimes it's not even his fault. Our team just doesn't try. Now, mind you, some of it is his fault. There are a lot of times where we do stop playing basketball and he just lets it happen. Or someone is doing great and he pulls them out. One of the key points in this game, Patrick Williams started out really hot. He was 5 for 5 at the start of this game. And for some reason, after the first quarter, we just stopped looking for him as if he wasn't a player. I saw a great Twitter post that if Zach was that hot, if Zach was 5 for 5 in the first quarter, we would go like 6 minutes with just Zach playing. No one would even try to shoot. They would pass it to Zach and let him go. Patrick Williams goes 5 for 5. Okay, cool. He got his shots up. It's time for the big three to do their thing. Now we got to try to get our shots up. And that's one of the things I think the Bulls have to work on. Start playing team basketball the entire game. I don't care if Zach and DeMar go an entire game with 6 points, if Patrick Williams and Coby White both score 30 and we win. But the issue here is it seems like the Bulls do care. It doesn't matter who's hot if it's not Zach or DeMar. If anyone else is hot, they have to wait and let Zach and DeMar get their shots up so they can try to get hot and get their points. And that is the type of team that we have right now, a team that doesn't care about losing, they don't care about passing, and they don't care about helping the young players get better. They just want to score and look good themselves. And that brings me to my last point. Do the Bulls even care about losing at this point? Honestly, I don't think they do. It truly looks like the Bulls just don't want to get blown out in these games. We will go up, lose the lead, go down, fire our way all the way back up just until it's a good game and then give up again. This team has an ego of not getting blown out. They have a thought process of they are a team that can fight back from 15 to 20 down. We could fight and grind our ways back in the game. But for some reason, they don't have the mentality to say we are winning no matter what. Whether people have to not play for a whole quarter and sit their ass on the bench because they're not playing right, to, hey, I don't have it this game, Patrick has it this game, let's let him take over. For some reason, the Bulls do everything in their power to try to lose these games. And as a Bulls fan, it is completely irritating. If this was a team where we were terrible and the players were terrible and no one on this team could shoot or dribble or do anything, if it was just a team of Denzel Valentine and Felicios, we would all be okay with us losing like this. But the talent we have on this team is just too much, not just on paper, but in actual play. They have too much skill to be this bad. And with that, let me know what you guys feel about how the team is doing so far. We all know they're doing terrible, but do you think they are doing well enough to trade some of these key pieces? And also, let me know if you are just ready for either a rebuild or a retooling. If you are new to the video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification so you're notified for when these videos drop. And with that, keep loving the Bulls, even if we're trash. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.